right, let's get into the Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K. stuff, this Saudi comedy festival, the comedy controversy that will not die. I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. Saudi Arabia is a fucked up country, but they're offering you $1.5 million to go tell some jokes. And for that $1.5 million, they've bought the right to tell you what you can and can't say on stage. I think, there's that line in The Patriot where Mel Gibson says, I'm a parent. I haven't the luxury of principles. Mm-hmm. I think with these guys, they get old enough and they get wealthy enough and people on the internet just can't understand. And I go through this being someone who doesn't really pay attention to the internet. The internet can't understand why these guys don't pay attention to the internet. They think it's a foreign concept to them that these guys just don't give a fuck what any of them think, because a lot of these people giving them shit on Twitter, giving them shit on YouTube and stuff like that, they're never going to buy a ticket to a comedy show anyway. They're not going to go and support any of these things. They'll just stop watching their YouTube videos, or they'll just want to bitch. Personally, I say this. If these guys take $1.5 million to go tell jokes in Saudi Arabia, who gives a shit? Like, is Saudi Arabia an evil, terrible, awful place? Yes. I also don't look to Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle for my morality.
True. I will say, though, if you do a lot of stuff that's critical of these people, or you've done stuff critical of these people, or talked about anyone, because didn't Bill Burr do something about, like, performing for these people being kind of pieces of shit?
Yes.
Like,
Bill Burr is a stinky, dumb hypocrite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then, like, what is it? Whitney coming, like a few of them on there. Like Dave Chappelle, for one, he is actually Muslim, so fucking. Right. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's all about free speech and free expression, blah 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 blah. But over here, it's like, right, it's about free speech and free. That's not America, and so I'm sure
Louis C.K. has a take on this because he took money to go to Saudi Arabia too. Louis C.K. has a take on this, like, look. Saudi Arabia doesn't have free speech, but we don't get to a point where the Saudis someday may have free speech by saying we're not going to go there and we're going to freeze them out and we're not going to do anything with them. He made the point that these things change incrementally. You can't go from chopping up a journalist and shoving him into suitcases to Thomas Jefferson overnight by the whole world telling you to go fuck yourself.
Right.
So, some would say Germany's undergone some changes in the last 100 years or so, and that didn't happen all at once. They were split into two countries for a long time. Half of that country oppressed its citizens terribly, and now they're only oppressing people moderately less. So these things change incrementally. Look, I would love to sit here and be the morality police. And look, it would be easy. I would get more clicks. I would get more subscriptions. I would get more views. I'd be the darling of the internet, whatever. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and Louis C.K. going to Saudi Arabia to tell jokes is somehow worse than Northrop Grumman and Boeing and Raytheon selling weapons that commit genocide. I'm not
fair enough.
You know what I mean?
I will say this: nothing's changing from the jokes being told. Like being told or not told, it's not really going to change the culture. Like, and that's the thing too. So these people are supposed to what? Like, they're supposed to go over and they're supposed to fight the power. Be like, hey, so how about all that human trafficking and horrible shit you guys do here, huh? Yeah, like it's not really going to work out for you. Like,
when states pass anti-LGBT laws and like singers say they're not going to perform there anymore, does that ever change the law or the position on, like, does DeSantis change his mind because Jennifer Lopez says she won't perform there? Or Bad Bunny is saying because of our immigration policy, he's not touring in the United States because he has a lot of Latino fans. He doesn't want ICE raiding his concert, so he's not performing here. I don't think Trump's going to do anything different.
Right. And the funny part is some of these people who are clutching their pearls at, oh my God, the indecency of performing for this country. You've supported people over here that have boycotted doing shows for one other reason or another. So it's like, okay, so It's all right to do shows if it supports your group. It's all right to do shows or refuse to do shows if it doesn't support your group. But if you go over there just for the money, you're a piece of shit. Like, no, it's all the same.
I think if you go there for the money, it's because you're about the money.
And it's very, very honest. Like, I'm doing this for the cash.
So Dave Chappelle told a joke, and conservatives, like neocon type conservatives, like this dickhead Frank Luntz, didn't get the joke and decided to be outraged about it. You know, it is, conservatives in many ways are like bigger phony pussies than lefties, because like at least lefties will tell you that they're censoring pussies that can't handle comedy, can't handle jokes. But I watch the right sit here and go, comedy's bad, comedy's legal again. Then the minute somebody tells a joke that they don't like, they got to go, they got to be canceled. This guy's a piece of shit, fuck him. So I don't know. I don't want to get lectured from either of these people.
I just want to hear the joke now is where it ends for me.
Frank Luntz wrote this. Dave Chappelle said, it's easier to talk here than it is in America at a comedy festival in Riyadh where comedians had to contractually agree to not tell jokes about Saudi leadership or religion. You see, Frank, the joke that Chappelle was doing is that obviously it's not easier to tell jokes in Saudi Arabia than it is in America. He's making fun of us firing people. It's a cancel culture joke. Obviously, Dave Chappelle does not think it's easier to tell jokes in Saudi Arabia, but he's making fun of and hyperbolizing how oversensitive we are here. He says,
I will say this: if you're gonna give me a giant like no-go zone, that does make my job a little easier. I know what not to do.
I'll tell you this: you give me $1.5 million, I can't be surprised when it comes with, here's what you can and can't joke about. As Don Draper once said, that's what the money is for. Right now in America, they say that if you talk about Charlie Kirk, that you'll get canceled, Chappelle said in Riyadh. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to find out, he then added. It's easier to talk here than it is in America. Like, that's clearly hyperbole. That's clearly an exaggeration.
And he's talking about the Charlie Kirk thing almost in exclusivity in that reference. Like, he's saying it's easier to talk about it here than in America because, again, people for and against Charlie Kirk have gotten canceled, right? Like taken off the air, whatever, like on both sides of the fence. So it's almost like you can't talk about it in some ways. Certainly can't say it was a group of people. But
I don't get. Well, I mean, I to an extent I get people's outrage, but like this isn't something people are outraged about when there aren't comedians going there to perform. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's not this daily outrage from the American people that the Saudis are shitty to people. There seems to only be this outrage when there's clicks attached to it, when there's names.
It's like we accept that they're shitty, but if you go over there and do something nice, we're like, but they're shitty. Right. It's like, right, but you didn't give two fucks a minute ago. Well, I'm not going to change them. Right, but they're supposed to turn down a payday because you don't like them?
You have literal representatives that may be representing your district that are supportive of a genocide. And you're going to tell me you give a fuck about Saudi Arabia and their treatment of women. I got news for you. It's a Muslim country. No matter what, it's not going to be a women's lib country. No matter
It's
how.
always the weird part on that one.
Yeah.
So, I thought they would have bred like a female Hamas. Like, we're reclaiming the Muslim religion for women. Stop cutting off our clits and shit. But like,
well,
they
that's
never
the other
do it.
thing. Like, we view it through a Western lens. They don't. They view it through the lens of their culture and their religion. I'm just muting this ad real quick. So Louis C.K. and Bill Maher talked about this, and to me, they had a little bit more responsible an opinion than, say, the Frank Luntzes and others.
I still think people who are doing it are brave, and it's apparently the ones over there are enjoying it.
Yes, they're all. When I'm talking to other comedians that have been there, and they've been really surprised by what's going on. There is a woman who's a lesbian and Jewish who did a show there, and she got a standing ovation. And so there's stuff going on that's unexpected in this thing. And people have been playing Saudi Arabia for years. Like, comedians have been going and playing Arab countries
Right, and they've been going and partying in Abu Dhabi and all these different places. This is what I mean with the internet and its selective outrage. Oh, we can do a Bill Burr video and it'll do lots of views and I'll get lots of clicks and I'll do more subscribers. And then they lip off about Saudi Arabia. It's like, hey, retard, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This has been going on forever. You don't get to be outraged today because it's Bill Burr. You don't get to be outraged because it's Dave Chappelle. And you'll get attention for it. Now, people are saying, well, what about Shane Gillis? He turned it down. That's good for Shane Gillis. I'm glad that he had morals and he had things he didn't like about the Saudis, and he declined to do the gig. Clearly, Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr don't feel the same way, and they're willing to take the money and go do the show. There aren't a lot of $1 million paydays out there in stand-up comedy.
Oh, no, there aren't.
So, look.
Outside of a toe show, like,
word has gotten out that I overpay.
Yeah.
And,
There was a film festival there recently. Like, it's kind of opened up, but I've always said no to Arab countries doing. I do shows everywhere. Like this show, I'm playing in India, I'm playing in Turkey, I'm playing in Bangkok, Hong Kong.
And by the way, every single one of those countries, you could find something that goes against our Western standard of freedom, but they never say a word. India has all kinds of fucked up policies. Nobody says a word, again, because you put Bill Burr's name in the title or you put Chappelle's name in the title, like I'm going to when I clip this, and you get more views, you get more clicks, you get more likes. And it's not popular to say, who gives a shit? But at least it's honest. This dishonesty I see with these channels that are clutching their pearls about this Saudi Arabia thing. It's like, this is the first time you've ever fucking talked about this. Knock it off. And these guys going to Saudi Arabia has clearly started a conversation about what we'd like to see Saudi Arabia do. Could you not argue that sending our arts and our performers to these countries, just the mere act of doing it, creates a conversation about this?
Potentially, because again, if something I always say about like immigration, for example, if the way you do it there is so star-spangled awesome, then why is it not catching on here? And that kind of seems in a way like that's what's happening. The entertainment, people want the entertainment from the West. It's like, well, this comes here, but that's also a part of the culture thing. So it's kind of like waves on a shore. It's not going to change anything initially, but if you just keep hitting it more and more, it's going to eventually alter the landscape.
America has changed a lot more countries through sharing its culture and sharing its art than we have with bombs and guns and bullets.
I would argue that's why we won the Cold War, was our culture and our...
Well, they always say blue jeans and rock and roll. Yeah. They say Eastern Europe was denied all of these things, and once they got them, they went fucking gaga for them, and the government couldn't control these people anymore. That and the inherent problems in the economics of communism. Right. I mean, it's kind of a ticking time bomb.
We had a hand.
Yeah.
All over the world this year. And when this came up, they said there's only two restrictions. It's their religion and their government. And I don't have jokes about those two things. It used to be when I got offers from places like that, there'd be a long list. And I just say, no, I don't need that. But when I heard it's opening, I thought that's awfully interesting. That just
see now again. It's easy to attack Bill Burr. It's easy to attack Louis C.K. It's easy to attack Dave Chappelle. But listen to what he said. We keep going over there, and every time you get the offer, the list gets shorter and shorter on what you can't talk about.
Right.
Is that
and
not
now
a
we're
good
just
thing?
down to the religion and the government, which not cool, but also at the same rate. I mean, fuck, are you allowed to talk about either of those things in Britain on Facebook? So tell me how wrong.
Right? Yeah. Keir Starmer, not that much different than the Crown Prince.
Feels like a good opportunity. And I just think comedy is a great way to get in and start talking. And there's Saudi Arabian comedians there. And I'm going to a comedy club in Saudi Arabia the first night I get there to just see what's going on. I love stand-up comedy, and I love comedians. So the fact that that's opening up and starting to bud, I want to see it. I want to be part of it.
How about the fact that, and I know, like, look, Hollywood's run by a cartel and a cabal, but how about the fact that they've decided to let Louis back in? Like, Louis on Marm, Louis was on Theo Von. Like, I'm so happy to see Louis C.K. back because he's one of my favorite comedians of all time, and I don't care that he jacked off in front of people. I really don't fucking care. Never did care. Thought his TV show was great. Thought what happened to him was bullshit. I will say that it is so nice to see him back, and I think he's going to age well. Not like physically. He looks like dog shit always
He looks like
has.
shit.
And he's only in his early 50s, I believe, or mid 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
That's scary.
I think Louis is like 54 years old. Ouch. But anyway, I think Louis is fantastic. I think he's going to do great. And I'm glad to see him back involved in things. But he's right. Like, you don't change these places by isolating them. You don't change a Saudi Arabia by going, no, fuck you, the world doesn't welcome you.
I think that's a positive.
I think so too.
Fun part is the audience applauding are the same people
Yeah.
that shake their finger like, oh, but you're going to this country where they treat women horribly and they murdered a dude and put him in a suitcase. It's like, right.
Yeah.
They did all that horrible shit.
Christopher Hitchens said it best when he was on Bill Maher once. He said, yes, Bill, you argue in kind, but your audience obviously is frivolous. I'm like, yes, Bill's audience is frivolous.
Chappelle said, it was in the press today, saying that you can speak more freely over here than in America.
I was kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Oh, it's not true.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Do your hunk on Muhammad, Dave.
Yeah. Well, he's a Muslim, David.
I understand.
You know? So it depends on who you are and what you want to talk about. Now,
That's the end of that clip. Yeah, Dave Chappelle doesn't want to shit on Islam. In fact, Dave Chappelle has such an affinity for his religion, he doesn't publicly talk about it, and he doesn't publicly talk about how he's a Muslim because he feels like he's a failure as a Muslim. And he doesn't want people to judge Muslims based on him. It's seriously what he says. He goes, I don't talk about my faith because I feel like I'm a bad example of my faith. And I'm like, that's kind of fucking awesome in a way.
Based.
Yeah, a little bit. Ryobi with $1 says it's not the censorship. Comedians censor themselves in the UK. It's about 9/11. Jesus, fuck you, dummy. Are you making them at night? Our government doesn't care about 9/11. And by the way, are you sure? Because I know a lot of the 9/11 guys were from there, but
right.
I don't know if it was them.
I'm just saying, hey, we could do a couple of things. One, we could follow money, and two, we could ask ourselves about do we know any other groups or factions that may have been in any way involved, even by sin of omission kind of deal. And so, how much blame do you want to espouse? What will that do now?
This is going to change Saudi Arabia. They're getting WrestleMania. They'll probably end up getting NFL games. They're getting comedy. This is going to change Saudi Arabia, and there's no way it can't. It will have to go one of two ways. Either it will eventually completely open up. You can do whatever you want, or they'll have to lock down like the Iranians did, and they'll have to go full Islamic dictatorship because you can't let some of this shit in and control
not expect the rest of it to make it through the door.
You can't control it. You can't go like, we love WWE pro wrestling, but the women, they'll still have to cover up. No, the women are going to end up. I think they already are. I think when they go to Saudi Arabia, they've already loosened up the dress codes quite a bit.
I was going to say there's advertisements and stuff for a lot of things, and I've noticed one of them is like a Saudi Arabian airline thing, and they have like what I would swear to you would be, in my assumption, if she had a religion, a Muslim woman, but she's not dressed like that at all. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, so they're starting to learn about like using feminine appeal to help pitch their products and sell their wares, but all the ladies have to walk around covered up all the time. That's weird.
Yeah.
It seems like it's changing slowly.
I think,
if nothing else, to get the Western dollar.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, you're not going to be able to take you can't control cultural change in that way. You're going to have to take it all or none of it. And Iran learned that. I mean,
and look how great it's working for them.
Right.
And that's the other problem too. Like Iran, if this happens in that area, you have a wellspring of this happening. Now places like Iran are a stone's throw away from there where it's already going on. You're going to get that to start to culturally drift over too, where it'll be more like, hey, more and more people be like, we want it the way they've got it right over there.
And it's like, you're not going to see it because it's a very slow process. But
we'll be dead.
One day you'll wake up and you'll go, well, I mean, just look at Saudi Arabia now. They're way more open than they used to be. And it happened slowly and incrementally. But look, man, as far as the 9/11 thing, I don't know how much of that I believe anymore. Like, I've been watching Tucker's thing on all that. I've watched the 2 parts that are out so far. I don't know how much I agree with that story.